Hi everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name is Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. I'm going to take you through a recipe today which has a kind of autumny feel. It's cooling down outside. We need something just to warm us a bit. So this is my chicken with leek and pearl barley risotto. It's very simple and follows a lot of what I've done previously with using herbs and rubs to kind of really get some flavour into these things. It's a very earthy dish, but I hope you love it. So first things first, we're going to prep our chicken just so that's all there and out of the way. So like I said, we're going to start with a rub for the chicken, which will just throw a load of herbs into that chicken and get you some almost like stuffing type flavour in with it. So we're going to start with half a teaspoon of fennel seeds, half a teaspoon of garlic granules, half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, and a teaspoon of dried thyme. So all very dry ingredients, and we want that because we want it to stick to that chicken. So to that, we're just going to add a little pinch of salt and give that a grind up. Brilliant. So that's ground down to almost a powder now. So we can take our chicken, and I'm using thighs for this, mostly because again it just goes with that earthy flavour. I absolutely love thighs for this. They're a lot cheaper, so we're going to stick with these. Now we've got bone in. We're just going to make a couple of slits across the top, give it about 3 on each, just to get that rub in a bit more. Take our plate and tip our rub out on top. Go. Give that a good mix around so we coat that chicken completely. You should be able to smell all the flavours there. It's almost slightly aniseedy from the fennel, and then you get that nice cumin flavour as well. Okay, so there we go. 2 nicely rubbed chicken. So we can put that to one side now, and then we can carry on with the rest. Right, so our chicken's done. Now we're just going to prep a few things for the risotto. So I've got 2 leeks here, because they're quite small ones. Got a giant one, just use one. About 500 grams worth in total. So I'm just going to take the outer leaf off. I see, because that's usually a bit covered in a bit of dirt. I've given them a wash previously, but right. So now we're just going to cut these into about 1/2 centimetre rings. Brilliant. So there you go. That looks like an awful lot of leek, but it will really wilt down when we start cooking it. So our very last thing we need to prep over here is some tarragon. This just goes great with the leeks. Adds a little bit, again, of a slightly aniseedy flavour, which I just think goes so well with those kind of earthy qualities of the pearl barley and the chicken thighs. So we're just going to shred 1 giant sprig of tarragon. If you're getting them out of a supermarket packet, you probably want about 3. So strip those leaves off. And we just give them a little chop up. Be quite rough with this. Bizarre, isn't it, mate? The rougher you are, the more professional it ends up looking. So there's my tarragon already. And that's it for your prep. The only other thing you've got is your pearl barley. Worth giving it a little wash down. So don't be too scared. You can do this with like a normal risotto rice. I just really love the Pearl Barley. And don't worry if you read in the back and it says like this one, it takes an hour and 15 minutes to cook, because it doesn't. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do with that. They're probably making porridge out of it. But it only takes probably 10 minutes more than doing a normal risotto rice. So we've got everything prepped. Let's get over to the hob. We can start cooking. See you there. Right, so now we're ready to just saute off those leeks a bit first before we start building the risotto. So we're going to get our pan on the heat. To that we're going to add a good knob of butter, so about 15 grams of butter. Bring that up a little bit. And then we're going to add in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Probably one or two. That'd be two. The reason we do this is we want that butter, that dairy, to really kind of bring that silkiness to the risotto, but we don't want it to burn. So if you add the olive oil to butter, you still get all of that silkiness, but you don't get any kind of nutty burnt flavour to it. So, yeah, once those are melted down a bit, we can add in our leeks. Perfect. We want that on a low heat. We're just going to simmer that away, giving it a turn every now and again, trying to break it up a little. And we'll do that for about 10 minutes, just to get nice and soft. So I'll carry on with this and come back to you in about 10. See you then. So it's now nicely wilted down. It's had its 10 minutes. Now we're just going to cook this pretty much like any other risotto, just going to take a little bit longer. So we're going to add in our Pearl Barley to here, which we've drained. It's stuck together a bit. Now it doesn't look like an awful lot, but it really swells up. So just give that a good stir around. And actually hold on to it. So now just a couple of other little ingredients. First off, our tarragon. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of whole grain mustard. That's perfect. You can give that a bit of a stir around and mix it all together. Great. Now, white wine. So you want about 150 ml, so a small glass of white wine in here. About that. Might be slightly more. Some's escaped. Then we're going to turn that up and we're going to simmer that off so the wine's almost gone. So just get it bubbling and then let it reduce right down. That's lovely. So that white wine's reduced right down now. It's not gone completely, but it's almost like a soup consistency at the bottom. You can, or even less, almost like a gravy. So now we want to add in about a third of our vegetable stock. So I'm going for about 500 ml to a pint of vegetable stock, just one stock cube there. And then the reason I'm only doing that is a lot of recipes we use a lot more, but I'm going to do something quite sacrilegious now. Because I want the steam to kind of help that pearl barley come through quicker, I'm going to cook my risotto with a lid on. And yeah, what that will do is all the steam will come up, hit the top, fall back down again. Just means you're not having to use as much of your stock. So hopefully 500 should be enough. If not, we'll just top it up with water. There's enough flavour in all of the herbs and the mustard and those leeks to create a vegetable stock in there anyway. So keep that on a low heat. and every so often we'll just come in and stir it. Now the next thing is, it's a good time to get your oven on. So you want to heat that up to about, so 180 degrees C. Then we're gonna, after about 5 minutes of that kind of simmering away, we'll put the chicken in. Should have half an hour both left, and we're good to go. So leave that for 5 minutes, get my oven cranked up, and catch you in a sec. Right, so that's had its 5. Yeah, the grains are already starting to swell up, and we've got a slightly reduced stock, so we'll just add a little bit more in. There we go. What we want to do is, like I say, just keep coming in. It's going to take about another half an hour. Keep coming in, give it a stir around, add a bit of stock if it needs it. You'll notice because the stock will be almost gone at the point you want to add more in. Just keep running like that. But now that's done, our oven's up to temperature. We grab our chicken and whack it in. So there we go. Like I say, keep coming in, keep stirring, adding more stock as necessary. In 30 minutes, the whole thing should be ready. See you then. So about 5 minutes to go. Just going to take the lid off. And yeah, we've still got quite a lot of liquid in there. We'll just give the Pearl Barley a quick try. Try not to burn ourselves too much. Yeah, it's almost done. So to get the rest of that liquid off, I'm going to leave that top off now for the last 5. Just let it simmer away and reduce down. So then hopefully everything should come together at once. Brilliant. Perfect, it's half hour up. That last 5 minutes has done well. To really reduce that down. So we can turn our oven off. We're going to leave that there just for a minute or 2 more. We can take our chicken out of the oven. Lovely. And place that down there. Perfect. So you can see our chicken's done. One thing I always do use is a meat thermometer. Just saves me ripping everything up to check whether it's cooked. So we've got a little electronic one here. There we go. Just whack it in the hardest part. And there we go, reading, high 70, 80 degrees. That's fine. Anything over about 75 should be fine. That's all cooked. So we're just going to giving that a couple of seconds while that's doing. And that's all it needed. That's lovely. So, everything off. Time to serve up. So let's just grab a big dollop of that risotto. Perfect. And we can move that over here. So one of these chicken thighs positioned on top. Bring that up. Lovely. There we have it. It's my roast chicken with leek and pearl barley risotto. Absolutely delicious meal. Yeah, really earthy flavours. Great on a sort of autumn to winter's night. So hope you give it a go. Hope you enjoy it. Catch you soon. Cheers.